National Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women 2025. They opened their campaigns today in Maiduguri, whereby the leaders of women discuss the issue and have a solution on it. And the leaders of women emphasize on no any excuse in an online abuse. We hear an advice from different religion leaders. Follow me to the program and hear a lot about the program. My name is Yakubu, haruna, dauda.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As we converge to celebrate opening ceremony of the 15-day activism against gender-based violence 2015, I pray and hope that God will see us through the activities of today and all the period which this activity will last. So we are in prayer, please. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
6-day opening prayer from Malam Muhammad Adam, a scholar from Muslim religion. For the priest of prayer, Reverend Wani Wajiba Abu Haiti.
Our God, our Father in heaven, the King of glory, the one that created what is visible and invisible things. Thank you for the privilege of giving us to be here this moment. It is only the living that can participate in activities. It is only the living that can gather together to transform and interact together. We thank you, O God, that we are among those that are living.
As we finish listening to the prayers of Christian and Muslim scholars, follow me to the program to continue listening a lot about the program of evaluation against women. But before we go into the program, let us listen to the national anthem. Listening to the national anthem of our great country, Nigeria, we're going to proceed to the next item. But before we proceed, don't forget this program is coming to you from YHT Media.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Okay, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. I want to appreciate and recognize all of us that appreciated our invitation to attend this. I'm standing in here on behalf of the Stability, Women Affairs and Social Development, particularly on behalf of the Honorable Commissioner, Ambassador Zira Gabu, who is unavoidably being absent here. So whatever I say, I'm saying it on behalf of her. Let me quickly start with saying the Stability, Women Affairs in collaboration with the civil sector, the all partners of GV in the State. I want to welcome us for the opening ceremony of the 2025 16 days of activism, whereby all of us come together to have activities, different activities in different locations within these 16 days to eliminate violence, whereby we have the theme for this year, future violence against women and girls. So I welcome all of us to this very, very important flagging of this event. I have just listened to say because time is not on our side.
This is Hajiya Falmata Umar Lawan, the Director of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, with her opening remarks. We're going to have the overview of the program on Renda Wuche, the DBG coordinator on campaign of 16 days for women violence.
I would like to acknowledge the established protocol, distinguished colleagues, partners, advocates, and champions of women and girls. Good morning. Today, as we gather to flag off the 2015 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, we are not just opening a campaign, we are igniting a movement rooted in justice, dignity, and the belief that every woman and every girl deserves to live, to speak, and to dream without fear, both online or offline. This year's global theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls, is not just timely, but urgent. Because the world has changed. The spaces where violence occurs have expanded. The harm that once happened behind closed doors now travels through screens, through networks, and devices. Digital spaces should have been places of opportunity, learning, expression, and connection. But for many women and girls, they have become new battlefields, where either their voices are being attacked, their identities stolen, their images exploited, their advocacy silenced, and their dreams are threatened by anonymous hands that hide behind technology. To everyone hearing my voice, know this: online violence is not virtual. It is real. It destroys confidence. It follows women and girls home. It affects their mental health and it limits their participation in public life. And that is exactly what violence is designed to achieve. But here is the truth that brings us together today. We refuse to let technology become another tool of oppression. Instead, we will make it a tool for protection, a tool for empowerment, and a tool for liberation. This year's 16 days of activism is a call to all of us: the government, the UN agencies, the INGOs, the CSOs, youth networks, women-led organizations, community leaders, tech actors, and every individual listening to me today to stand together in one powerful voice and declare: violence is violence, whether in a home or on a timeline. And every woman and girl has the right to safety, whether in a classroom or in a chat room. Over the next 16 days, we will be amplifying our voices, we will strengthen systems, we will reinforce and commit to collective impact of ensuring that no woman and no girl suffers in violence, not under our watch, not under your watch. We will raise awareness, we will strengthen reporting pathways, we will promote survival-centered responses, we will engage digital platforms, we will empower young people, and challenge harmful norms that enable online abuse. Ultimately, we are here to say enough is enough. Enough of threats, enough of cyber stalking, enough of non-consensual image sharing, enough of silencing, enough of fear. Today, we unite across sectors, across states, across communities, and across every digital and physical boundary to build a Nigeria, to build a world where women and girls are safe, respected, and free. Let this 2025 campaign be reminded as the year we reclaim our digital duty, the year we unite and mean, the year we refuse to allow violence in any form define the future of our women and girls. Together we rise, together we speak, together we act.
The humanitarian coordinator, Mr. Christian Macaulay, have come up with a message: 16 days human rights campaign.
Good morning, everyone. I will stand on the existing protocol. I think it was well established by the Director of Women Affairs and also reiterated by my colleague, Brenda. I will speak on behalf of UNFPA to welcome you all here on this flag off of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, with the theme today, which is ending digital violence against women and girls. It's always very difficult to take
on after a very eloquent speech has been given by the sector coordinator, Brenda, where she really highlights the issue. We are living in a protracted crisis where we know women and girls are the most affected. And of course, according to GBVINS, we know the classifications of different types of gender-based violence that exist within this space. But now, there is a call to action that we should be more vigilant on digital violence that is being perpetrated against women and girls. And who are the perpetrators? I know we've heard from Brenda and also from the Director of Women Affairs who the perpetrators are. The perpetrators are everyone. And where is the platform? The platform is free. Because if you look in here, every one of us has a device like this. This device that is meant to empower and to connect us has become a tool to violate the rights of women and girls. And when we look at those that are already been affected by the crisis in which we are dealing with, we realize that we are also perpetrators. I mean we, including me. How are we perpetrators as humanitarian actors? We are the ones sharing some of those images that are meant to violate the dignities of women and girls. We all belong to different social networks, different WhatsApp groups, and sometimes when we see some of these things that happen, for example, gender-based violence that has occurred, we are the ones sharing this information without protecting the dignity, without protecting the identity of the victims. So I think the call to action is first of all on us. I will be talking on behalf of UNFPA, as I said earlier. UNFPA, we are committed to respond, or we are committed to integrate digital safety and survival center support as a core of life-saving component of our protection and health services. We call for collective action to criminalize all forms of gender or digital violence against women and girls, to strengthen accountability of technology companies to protect and to prevent and respond to abuses. We know they are here, MTN, Airtel, and whosoever. We are calling them to use their platform to protect women and girls. We call on investing and to fund women rights organizations who are on the front line to providing services and core life-saving services for women and girls, particularly those that are affected by digital violence. We enhance digital resilience and literacy for all women and girls, ensuring they know their rights and how to seek for help. Let us be clear. Digital violence is a collective responsibility. We must unite government, the UN agencies, CSOs, international organizations or international NGOs, and tech companies, civil society organizations, as I mentioned earlier, to create a digital world where every woman and girl, especially those in crisis, is safe.
Yeah, today is Women's Day. So equality, development, and peace is our cry. Thank you for that wonderful session. Distinguished guests, partners in government, UN, and the international community, members of the Women Leg, community and religious leaders, the media, dear colleagues, women, young men, girls that are here today, good morning. It is an honor to welcome each and every one of us on this great occasion of the flag of the 15 days of activity on gender-based violence, particularly technology-facilitated violence. This is a global call to action, and today in Borno State, we are urging our voice very loud and clear to end violence against women. It must end. We gather in a context marked by conflict, displacement, poverty, and deep social pressures for many women and girls in our community. Violence is not a headline. It is a daily reality that is happening at all spheres of life. It happens everywhere. It happens in roads, on the streets, in the marketplace, in schools, in IDP camps, wherever you can mention. Digital violence is taking place silently everywhere and is eating deep within the fabric of human sphere. Therefore, this that is slowly destroying our girls, our young boys and men, and even the adults. It must come to an end. The violence we are talking about, it comes with different kinds of effects. Some lead it with physical and sexual violence. We have what we know to happen to many people, emotional violence. It carries economic and digital abuse that slowly destroys the fabric and the dignity of women and girls. Therefore, we are calling with a strong voice. Violence against women and girls must end. Yet, even in this difficult context, we also see courage. We see women who speak out, girls who are supported and who speak out. We see women and girls supporting one another. We have seen men allies who refuse harmful norms. Community leaders who open their doors to dialogue. We have seen organizations who continue to stand in the gap, often with limited resources, but with great determination. This courage is what we are here to honor, to protect, and to amplify. And this is the reason why we are pushed from your home to come and honor this day. I want to just say three vital points that 15 days of activism reminding us three simple things, three simple truths. One, violence is preventable, not inevitable. So every one of us we know violence can be prevented. Why? Because EDB is rooted in power balance, imbalance, harmful gender norms, poverty and impunity, and what have you. Number two, survivors must be at the center of anything. Anything we are talking about GDP, survivors must be at the center of our engagement, of our implementation, and whatever you have in mind. Every statistic we cut in a person with a name, a story, and a future. Our work must prioritize safety, confidentiality, respect, and meaningful participation of survivors in designing solutions that affect them. Nothing about them could be done without them. And to round it up, number three is ending CDB. It's every man, every woman, everyone's business. For us to end digital CDB, we must take it as a responsibility to end it. Government, security agencies, the justice system, traditional and religious institutions, schools, health facilities, media houses, social media platforms, private sectors, civil society, men and boys, women and girls. Each of us has a role. Why? Because silence and neutrality only protect the perpetrator. So when you see something, say something. When you hear something, amplify it. As for us in the women-led organization, which all of us women here, we are part of it. And we have our men allies, like the humanitarian coordinator, like the DPG secretary, and all partners that are fighting because of women. We want to say that we stand here not as a victim, but as leaders, organizers, and problem solvers. Over these 15 days of activity, I want to say that we will use our collective voice to raise awareness, challenge harmful norms, promote positive masculinity, and connect community services and information. We will also highlight emerging forms of violence, including the technology-facilitated abuse and online harassment. If there's any violence that is really more than one can quantify, is the technology-facilitated violence, because it's happening everywhere. In the primary school, it's happening. In the secondary school, it's happening. Therefore, what do we do? Because it increases stigma, it increases stress, it increases exploitation, and then it increases misinformation. Therefore, I call with a loud voice that today as we celebrate these 15 days of activism, it is a call to action that each and every one of us will be engaging and we should engage. And we are calling from today on, engage in prevention of the digital abuse against women and girls. Thank you and over. Happy.
Yakubu, she is the representative of civil society organization in the region. She delivered a good speech on activism and make a good awareness on violence against women.
Thank you so much. The Honorable Commissioner of the Roasted Director of Women Affairs, heavily represented by their mother, the Salamata, the humanitarian coordinator and the LGBT sector coordinator, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen of the press, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. As rightly said by the MC, mine is to represent both the chairman of the Borno State Network of Civil Society Organization, Comrade Bulama Abiso, who is unavoidably absent due to some unforeseen circumstances. So as the global community unites to begin the 15 days of activism campaign against violence against women and girls 2025, for us at the Network of Civil Society Organization, our message is just quite as simple. Ours is to reaffirm our commitment to ending all forms of gender-based violence and discrimination against women and girls, including technology-facilitated gender-based violence. And we are calling on all stakeholders, including traditional religious leaders, our women groups, our security personnel, to join us in our efforts to ending all forms of violence against women and girls, not only in Borno State, not only within the MMC and JRA, but in every corner of the state, because for us as grassroots CSOs, this is the people we represent. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Assalamu alaikum, the woman leader of National Association of Persons with Disability, Borno State Chapter, emphasize on women and men with disability, Facebook, online, more than a person with good health.
Thank you all possible duly observed. Good morning. My name is Hassana Mahmoud, and I'm the woman leader of the International Association of Persons with Disabilities, Borno State Chapter. It is an honor to join you in this year's 15 days of activism against gender-based violence. And as today marks the one of the 15 days, as we unite to end digital violence, let's remember that women and girls with disabilities face even greater risks online. We are deserved to feel safe on the internet and in our communities. Let's work together to create an inclusive and accessible digital spaces for every woman and girl. For women with disabilities and girls, the digital space can be a place of empowerment, but it can also be a place of danger. Many of us face online harassment. Our voices must be heard to remove the fear of people. This must be changed. Our pledge stands today to demand safer and more inclusive and accessible digital environment. We believe in a world where online platforms hurt women generally and left no woman behind because of her disability. As we begin this journey of 15 days, we call on governments, partners, communities, and digital platforms to take action. Let's strengthen policies, improve reporting systems, and promote digital literacy and ensure accessibility for all women and girls, especially those most at risk. Thank you. And this year we rise to say one voice, no digital violence, no discrimination, and safety, dignity, and inclusion, respect for every woman and girl. Thank you.
The Norwegian representative, Mr. Barham has emphasized on the goodness of the program.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, government representatives, religious and traditional leaders, partners from UN, NGO, civil society, women-led organizations, youth groups, private sector, and media, all protocols observed. Good morning. On behalf of Norwegian Church Aid, I am honored to be part of the launching of the 2025 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence under the Unite to End Digital Violence Against All Women and Girls. This campaign addresses one of the fastest growing yet outlooked forms of abuse, violence across digital platforms. As technology shapes our lives, the digital space has become a new front line in the fight against GBV. Online harassment, cyber stalking, image-based violence are a few forms of digital threats, especially for women and girls with limited digital literacy. Today, we affirm that digital violence is real violence and that protection must extend to online. A safe society means not only safe house, safe school, safe health facilities, but also safe screen platforms, communities where women and girls can learn and connect and thrive without fear. I commend the Borno State Government Ministry of Women Affairs, GBV subsector, and all partners for making this campaign a possibility, and acknowledge the tireless efforts of civil society, UN agencies, NGOs, women-led organizations, everyone who contributed to organize the 60 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence campaign. The campaign is not just an annual event. It is a call to create safe digital physical space year-round. It's not a one-off activity. Every message shared, every harmful norm challenges brings closer to a world where women and girls participate freely, safely on and offline. This requires the act of all of us. Thank you to all partners for your collaboration and commitment. Together, we can transform digital spaces into environments of dignity, respect, opportunity for all. Wishing us a successful, impactful campaign for the coming 60 days. Thank you very much.
Barrister Jummai Iman Shelia, she is the representative of the National Human Rights. She emphasized on
security partners, the civil society, distinguished UN organization, INGO, DSO. I bring you greeting from the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, who is unavailable absent. They are now currently doing their own in Abuja. He said the Borno State people that we should try by all means to end digital violence against women and girls in Borno State. Thank you. Gender-based violence continues to threaten the dignity, well-being and development of individuals and communities beyond physical, sexual and economic violence. We are also recognized the growing challenge of digital violence, including cyberbullying, online harassment, non-consensual sharing of intimate images, torture, hate speech, and technology-assisted coercion. Digital space must be safe for everyone, and Commission remains committed to protecting the rights of all citizens, both offline and online. The NHRC will continue to strengthen its mechanism for reporting, investigating, raising public awareness, and access to justice for survivors for all forms of violence. We call on government agencies, civil society, development partners, the media, and the general public to unite in preventing violence, supporting survivors, and promoting accountability. As we mark this 16 days, let us commit to action, not just awareness. Violence to any form physical or digital, has no place in our society. Together we can build a Nigeria where every person lives in dignity, equality, and freedom.
The MPM coordinator of Foods, Mrs. Grace Chuma, let's make sure that women and boys are not violent, not for 16 days or the rest of our life.
Something that we need to observe the rest of our lives. It doesn't have to be for only 16 days. Let's continue to observe, to make sure that women and girls are not violated for the rest of our lives, not just for these 16 days. I believe, and I'm sure all of us will believe the same, that digital violence destroys women and girls' self-esteem. And when a woman or a girl self-esteem is not well, they don't perform well. Whatever you want them to do, make sure that their self-esteem is well built. You get good results. And also I believe that ending digital violence is not just a campaign. This is a commitment to equality, freedom, and human dignity. And this needs to be observed. And last but not least, I believe that together we can build a world where technology uplifts women and girls and not harm them. This is all I had to say today. Let's continue to observe peace for women and girls. Let's continue to protect our women and girls throughout our lives, not just for these 16 days of activism. Thank you so much.
Reverend Fali Wajiba, come up with your God messages are called into action.
Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, every represented by the director from the ministry, all under protocol duly observed against women and girls. As a religious leader, this act calls for all of us, both men and women, and we are expected to do those things that are expected of us. This Android phone that is in our one hand is one of the instruments that is being used to perpetrate digital violence. And I also observe that women has also contributed to invite this particular act. You can see on this Android phone, some women inviting me to chat with them. Some undecently dressed, and it's an open door. When a door is open, anything can enter. So as women, as we work against digital violence, the activists supposed to also speak to women on how to use their Android phone data. As men, we should also know that women are our partners and we are supposed to treat them well. We are not supposed to bounce on them and perpetrate evil and attack them in any form. And so I want to call all of us, both men and women, to stand against digital space that are being perpetrated for this digital violence against women. So I wish us all well as I call all of us the point of action to stop digital violence against women and girls.
And also, Alhaji Abubakar, the head of Mesandari, have come with a good message and call into action.
This finance threatens the very fabric of our community, undermining the dignity and rights of half of our population. As traditional leaders and influencers, we must recognize the power of our voice and action. We must create a safe and inclusive digital space where women and girls can thrive free from harassment, abuse, and fear. Traditional rulers, we must engage in transforming social norms, leading community awareness and sensitization, encouraging survivors to speak out, that is, to discourage the culture of silence, collaborating with other stakeholders. Let us unite in this fight using our collective strength and protect and empower women and girls. Finally, we use our voice as traditional rulers and action to drive change. I wish each and every one of us here will successful celebration. Assalamu alaikum.
Also, the digital team are there where they take care of hardly digital women violence in Borno, Adamawa, and Robesi digital working.
Good morning, everyone. I work with Hope and Awareness Foundation and the coordinator of digital literacy working group. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol, and I have a digital paper presentation, not a paper presentation. The title of my paper is Ending Digital Violence Against Women and Girls Through Digital Literacy, Empowerment and Collective Action. Distinguished government representatives, partners, colleagues, and advocates for gender equality, good morning all. On behalf of the Digital Literacy Working Group, it is an honor to present this paper as a part of 2025 15 days of activism against gender-based violence under the global theme, Unite End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls. Digital Literacy Working Group was established to address the digital gap, and coordinate digital intervention in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states. The group comprises of key stakeholders, including government agencies, donors, INGOs and NGOs, private and public sector CSOs and CEOs, committed to advancing digital transformation and promoting the opportunities technology brings for learning, livelihood, and communication. Understanding the topic of today, which is technological facilitated gender-based violence, is an act of violence that is committed, assisted in the past or in full by the use of ICT, such as internet, smartphones, email, and social media platforms to harm persons based on their gender identity. These forms of technological facilitated gender-based violence include online harassment, non-consensual image sharing, stalking, threats, extortion, blackmail, misinformation, hate speech, and digital exclusion. In the West State, waves of conflict and displacement have destroyed access to education, social protection, and digital inclusion. While digital tools increasingly support humanitarian response, many women and girls lack adequate digital literacy to protect themselves online. Misinformation, cyberbullying, discouraged female participation, and inadequate awareness of laws and reporting mechanisms leave survivors unprotected. Digital literacy must therefore be viewed as a protection strategy. Through our members, digital literacy working groups support women and girls to manage their digital identity, protect personal information, respond to online trends, and become empowered to prevent and report digital violence through capacity building workshops, trainings for jury survivors, partnership with telecom and ICT entities, and advocacy for inclusion of digital GBV protection framework. We call upon government institutions to prioritize digital literacy in public education. Donors and humanitarian partners to fund digital skills training as a core protection strategy. And all sectors to maintain digital skills program and empower communities to support survivors. In order to end digital violence, it's a human right imperative. Every woman and girl has the right to access, learn, and express herself freely and safely online. Let us unite as partners, communities, and advocates to build digital communities free from violence, where technology becomes a tool of empowerment, not oppression. So thank you so much.
But before we go deep into the program, let us take a break with these amazing girls. Welcome back from the break. I hope you language as we continue into the section of the program on violence against women. The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development make a remark and press based on the program.
Before we read my very brief speech, let me also equally appreciate the organizers of this very important occasion, including our reputable partners here, both sector and other partners, for this wonderful contribution towards the ceremony. We will not the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development announce the commencement of the 2025 15 days of activism against gender-based violence, a global campaign held annually from 26th of November to 10th December. This year's theme, Unite to End Digital Violence Against Women and Girls, calls on government, institutions, communities, and individuals to take decisive action against imagining forms of technological facilitated abuses. The Honorable Commissioner, who is unavoidably active due to some official engagement, will preside over the flag-off ceremony, but in Maiduguri, with the presence of senior government officials, traditional and religious leaders,
representatives of development partners, civil society organizations, school authorities, youth groups, women leaders, and media houses. Growing concern over digital violence. With increasing access to mobile phones, social media, and digital platforms, incidents of online harassment, cyberbullying, identity theft, non-sensual image sharing, blackmailing with information and digital hacking are rising across Nigeria and Borno State is not exempted. Digital violence silences women's participation in society, exposes women and girls to emotional, psychological, and institutional harm, reinforces gender inequality, creates barriers to education, employment, and economic empowerment, places adolescent girls at particular risk, especially in conflict-affected areas and states. Women and girls recovering from conflict, displacement, or economic vulnerability face added risk, making digital safety and protection critical to long-term recovery and resilience. Government efforts and commitment. The Borno State government, under the leadership of His Excellency Engineer Professor Babagana Umarazunu, through the Ministry of Women Affairs, has continued to strengthen systems that will respond to and prevent all forms of gender-based violence. Key interventions include strengthening social assault reference centers, to improve survivors' care, training gender-based officers, social workers, and community volunteers, for social support and legal reference for survivors, community awareness campaign targeting men, women, youth, and traditional structures, digital literacy program for adolescent girls in schools and safe spaces, coordination with security agencies for GBV response, including technology facilitated cases, economic empowerment program for at-risk women and survivors. The 2025 campaign offers another opportunity to intensify advocacy, renewed commitment, and mobilize broad community participation. Plan activities for the 2025 15 days of activity in Borno State. Throughout the 15-day period, the ministry, together with partners, will roll out activities designed to create awareness, build capacity, and enhance community involvement in ending both offline and online violences. This includes 1. Community sensitization drive, focus on GBV awareness, digital safety practices, and reporting channels, engagement with rural communities, IDP camps, and hard-to-reach areas, school and university outreach, education on cyberbullying, online harassment, and safe internet behavior, empowering girls to identify and report online threats, digital safety and cyber security training, session for young women, teachers, parents, and youth groups, training on privacy settings, account security, digital footprints, and preventing online exploitation, media advocacy and radio programs, daily discussion with experts on GBV prevention, digital ethics, and survivor support services, application of state policies and available psychosocial and legal support services, engagement with law enforcement, cybercrime units, strengthening mechanism for reporting and responding to digital violence, improving collaboration between GBV stakeholders and cybercrime investigators. Number 6, mobilization of male champions and youth ambassadors, encouraging boys and women become active allies in promoting safe online spaces and ending harmful behavior. Orange City Initiative, lighting key landmarks in Orange to symbolize solidarity with survivors and raise public awareness. Action to call to action. The ministry urges all stakeholders, government agencies, community leaders, schools, families, security institutions, and the media to join in the combating digital violence and reinforcing a safe, respectable, and inclusive society. Parents and guardians are encouraged to monitor children's online activities. Schools are reminded to include digital safety in their educational programs, and community and religious leaders are called upon to speak openly against harmful practices and support survivors seeking help. Digital platforms should be spaces for learning, empowerment, and opportunity, not fear, intimidation, or exploitation. Ending digital violence requires collective effort, shared responsibility, and sustained commitment. On the closing note, as the 2025 15 days of activity begins, the Borno State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development reaffirms its dedication to protecting the dignity, rights, and well-being of all women and girls. The ministry appreciates the continuous support of partners, call on the public to stand united. Gender-based violence all informed. Thank you, and I wish us a very good.
We have come to the end of today's program of 16 days of violence against women. Hope you learned from the program. Keep joining us on YHT Media. My name is Yakubu, Haruna, dauda, YHT Media.